He did it with my sister. At the moment when I was pregnant, he knew exactly how much it would hurt me. He knew and still chose her. He thought I would break, but I didn't. I took that pain, turned it around, and aimed it straight at him. And everything he thought was his life stopped belonging to him. He betrayed me, calmly, right in front of my eyes like I was just furniture. She was there. His gaze changed the moment she entered the room. I saw it. I heard every promise he was breaking at the exact second he turned toward her. I was screaming inside, but I stayed silent. He thought I wouldn't notice. I noticed everything. Every whisper, every hidden gesture, every secret built on my trust. And the girl he chose over me wasn't a stranger. She was close. Too close. I watched him smile at her in a way he never smiled at me. That's when I knew this wasn't an accident. Not a weak moment. It was a pattern. A strategy. He was tearing me apart slowly, testing how much betrayal I would swallow, how quiet I would stay. I refused to become small. I refused to disappear. I memorized everything. Every look. Every lie. Every moment he chose her instead of me. That's when I stopped reacting and started planning. I decided to take back control. To turn the chaos he created into a weapon. To make him lose everything he thought he owned. I started collecting evidence, not excuses. I stopped asking questions and started watching. His phone, his pauses, his lateness. It all formed a clear line. He came home and lied to my face, calmly, without shaking. Then he went where he was expected, without shame. I recognized her immediately, not by name, by audacity. By the way she looked at me, knowing more than she should. They thought I was stupid, that I was distracted, that I wouldn't piece it together. But I did. Dates, messages, meetings, patterns that aren't coincidences. He ate my dinner while texting her. He held me while planning with her. Every day, a double life. And the worst part, he was convinced he was in control. That I was just background. That I could be replaced quietly, neatly, without noise. At that moment, something inside me switched off. Not pain, not pity. I stopped being wounded. I became cold. And once I realized it, I made a decision. He wouldn't leave clean. He wouldn't leave unnoticed. He would leave the way I wanted, on my terms. I stopped seeing him as a person. He became a function, a tool that would eventually break. I didn't cry anymore. I didn't question. I checked facts. I knew where he lied before he even spoke. His calm no longer worked. I saw cowardice. He wasn't choosing. He was hiding. Hiding behind smiles. Behind, "you're imagining things." Behind the habit of making me too emotional, too complicated, too inconvenient. He tried to reduce me to noise so he could appear clean. But I saw the dirt. I knew who he spent time with when he said he was tired. I knew who he texted when he turned his back to me. And every time he came back, I let him think everything was under control. It mattered. Let him feel safe. Let him relax. Let him believe I was still someone who could be fooled. But in reality, I was already counting steps. Counting days. Counting exactly how much he had to lose. And the calmer he became, the clearer I saw where to strike. I saw everything. Not suspicions. Not hints. Open betrayal. He thought I was blind. He was wrong. Every hidden call, every whispered message, every meeting he lied about cut deep. I was screaming inside, but I kept my face calm. And the moment I realized it wasn't random, that she was the one getting his attention, his trust, his lies, something snapped. Pain disappeared. Doubt disappeared. Only cold remained. I started watching, planning, marking every move he made. He had no idea I knew. He believed he was flawless, the one in control. He was wrong. The game had already shifted. Every step he took, every excuse he offered became fuel. I watched him protect his image, build his illusion of order, smile at her in a way he never smiled at me. I memorized everything, his expressions, his gestures, every word, every touch. And then I decided, from now on, everything would happen on my terms. I wouldn't just endure this. I would retaliate. Precisely. Publicly. In a way that would make him understand that trust isn't a game, and that the chaos he created now belonged to me. I didn't explode. I waited. That mattered more than any breakdown. I let him live in the illusion that he was still in charge. He came home, repeated his familiar lines, played the role of the reliable man. I nodded. I memorized. I started using his own system against him, his order, his reputation, his fear of looking bad. I knew exactly where he was vulnerable. I knew what mattered most to him, how he appeared to others. Not love, not loyalty, image. I began pulling the levers carefully. Nothing sudden, nothing suspicious. Only precise moves. I saved messages, logged dates, connected patterns. I knew who needed to see the truth, and when, for it to hit the hardest. He still believed I knew nothing. He was wrong every single day. Because every day brought him closer to the moment his world would fold inward. I didn't want to destroy him quickly. I wanted him to understand. To feel control slip from his hands. to realize his calm no longer worked, that he no longer managed me. This wasn't revenge fueled by rage. It was repayment, cold, calculated, inevitable. I chose the moment, not random, perfect, when he felt untouchable, when he was smiling, when he believed everything was under control. I delivered the truth where he felt strongest, not in the bedroom, not in the kitchen, publicly, where he was respected, where his image was armor. I spoke calmly, no yelling. The facts cut deeper than any emotion. Messages, dates, patterns no one could ignore. His face changed by the second. Confidence, confusion, anger, fear. He tried to interrupt, to joke, to turn it into personal. Didn't work. I gave him no space. Every argument I crushed with proof. Every look met with another fact. He realized, this wasn't a fight. This was exposure. His illusion of order shattered in front of the people he lived for. His calm died first. I watched him lose control, search for something to hold on to, and find nothing. In that moment, I felt silence inside myself. Not emptiness, clarity, everything aligned. And he understood. There is no going back. I knew it would be enough, but I went further. The truth had to reach the root. I involved those he always wanted to impress. His anchor, his showcase, his mother, his parents. I didn't push. I didn't accuse. I just showed. Screenshots, dates, patterns, calm, precise, no emotion. His mother watched silently. No defense, no excuses. She understood immediately. This wasn't gossip. This was fact. His face went pale. He tried to speak, but words failed him. For the first time, he saw himself from the outside. Not a hero, not reliable, not right. Just a man who destroys and hides. His father turned away. His mother no longer looked at him the way she had. And in that moment, I knew. I hit him exactly. Not in the heart. Deeper. At the foundation. The base he had stood on. I didn't enjoy it. I noted it. Because this wasn't a scandal. This was the final reckoning. He didn't just lose me. He lost his support. And I finally took myself back. Completely. He thought I was alone. That his double life was invisible. But she was there. Not as an ally, but as a mirror. The sister, the one who seemed innocent, became part of the chain I used to strike. I tracked every move he made, every moment he chose her over me. I combined facts and observations to hit with precision. He came home confident, thinking everything was under control, while I already knew chaos would fall on his face. And when everything came to light, when facts collided with reality, I watched his confidence crumble. She stayed silent. She didn't intervene, but her presence amplified the effect, making his collapse even more complete. He tried to justify himself, find someone to blame, turn it into a joke, but chaos swallowed him whole. Every move now a mistake, every glance an admission of defeat. I was no longer the victim. I became the conductor. He lost control, status, himself. And I watched everything he had built fall apart and knew I am still standing, stronger and colder than ever. He realized too late. Everything he had built crumbled instantly, like it was breaking under my hands. Every step he took, every confidence, every habit, it turned against him. I gave him no chance to justify himself. He tried to cling to the remnants of control, but there was nothing left. I showed everyone who he really was. His mother, his friends, colleagues, and she, the sister, was there, her silence amplifying the strike, making him feel how far he had fallen. He could no longer hide. His order, his structure, his calm, all transformed into chaos I was directing. I watched him tremble, try to save face, but it was already impossible. Every look around, every reaction from others, like a mirror showing his defeat. I held everything under control. I became the center of the chaos, and he knew it. He thought he could break me, replace me. I was too strong, too cold, too precise, and he saw it. Forever. He thought he could replace me quietly. He was wrong. I took everything that ever mattered to him. His reputation, his control, his image, his carefully curated illusion of power, all now belonged to me. He had no mask, no plan, no excuse left. I stood at the center of this chaos, cold, sharp, untouchable, and everyone around him saw it. She, the sister, the one who had been part of his lies, stayed silent, a shadow amplifying his collapse. His world fractured under the weight of the truth, and I was rising. I spoke directly, with precision, without a tremor, and every fact, every detail, every unspoken secret hit him like a hammer. He tried to justify, to charm, to laugh it off, but nothing worked. I was in full control. I orchestrated the chaos, timed every revelation, and watched as his pride, his fear, his fragile ego crumbled in real time. I wasn't a victim. I was the storm, the center, the energy, the chaos, the truth. I was more than he could ever comprehend, and as he stood there, stripped bare, powerless, I realized I had gained more than revenge. I had reclaimed myself, louder, stronger, unstoppable. He lost me. He lost his control. He lost the story he thought he was writing. And I walked out, radiant, untouchable, and unforgettable. I am too bright, too sharp, too real. And everyone who watches this will know I cannot be replaced.